So in this video, I wanted to talk about the rest of the kitchen. I think a lot of us have kind of centered on the freezer area and not so much on the rest of the kitchen. Some people have, but personally, for me, I have looked at the rest of the kitchen, but I thought let me have a deeper look at it. As much as I have paid attention to the freezer area, and I looked at this image and I saw this on the floor, which to me looks very similar to what is in the freezer. That black, you can see it right here. That black, whatever that is, I can't zoom in anymore onto it, otherwise it will go blurred. But it is something else. You can see the color is different to the tiles, and it's raised. You can see that. So I just thought it is interesting to see that they haven't paid enough attention to the rest of the kitchen at all. I mean, how can you? I mean, look at it. You can see it right there in the middle of the floor. That should, I mean, this is why I was saying, did she get out? Did something happen? And then she ended up in the freezer after that happened? Because I see a lot of this in other places, round by, it's just the same stuff to me. It looks very similar. When you look at this, and you go back to this, how can they have not taken all of this stuff as evidence? Because this looks like someone's either been in that freezer with her or she's walked back out, And it's not the only place I've seen it. I've seen it also in this image here. You can see on the floor, you can see some other stuff that looks similar to some of the stuff that's in the freezer also. This stuff here. I mean, some people might say it's blood, but I can't tell really. Because of the quality of the picture, it's hard to tell too much. But you can see, and it looks similar to me to these marks here, where it's sort of mixed with water and the dirt's come off. It looks very similar to this stuff when you look at it. So I don't understand how they didn't see and didn't think to, I've seen this. This that's similar to what's in the freezer. It's not hard to put two and two together. It's the same stuff to me. I mean, I can't be 100%, but even all this dirt, and these cuts, there's equipment in the kitchen that she's more likely to have cut herself on than anything that's in this freezer, in this cooler. Okay, so this is what I thought was more of the area that she would have hurt herself on. And what it was is I actually watched Vibing with the Don, and he inspired me to do this video because I didn't even think about to look too much at the outside of this kitchen as much as I should have. And when I looked, it's true. I think this is more the area where she would have cut herself on. There's more here for her to have even accidentally, in a drunk manner, have cut herself on. If I'm being honest, when you look at some other pictures, you can see even the type of dirt that's around here, and it looks similar to what is on her clothing. Even these sharp objects you can see, if I quickly just make it a little bit brighter, contrast, and you can see a bit more what I'm talking about. The dirt, the air, this area, and even here where I saw it, it could be blood. I'm not going to say it is blood because I'm not one of them people that's going to say it is a bit blurry. So, but it is possible. But even like I said, it does look like similar to the stuff that's just on the floor, this brown stuff that I was talking about. But like, look at her foot. The cuts are more in line with this area, the equipment in this area that she could even, like I said, have accidentally have cut herself on. But there is, even if it was an accident, why is there no footage of this if that is what has happened? You know, and even when you look back at this image up here, you see these fingerprints, these handprints. And remember when these images were taken, we saw them taking those images when we was watching the surveillance. They took them quite early. So if this is from a police officer or someone that was in that kitchen doing the investigation, then this still should have been taken, because then it's there for elimination purposes. But they haven't done anything when it comes to taking these fingerprints, which they are. It's like a smudge. You can see. I'm going even closer. You can see. And it's interesting when you think about, she could have possibly been in this area and this is where she could have cut herself. You know, she could have been on her way back out and someone's come in. We don't know what's happened because, you know, the footage is a little bit off. It looks to be edited in places. And for me, the credibility of it is not there because of that. And because of, in some places, the quality even of it. So yeah, there was just a few things I wanted to show you to see what your opinions were about this, because I think this is more in line, the area, if this did happen in the kitchen, of where she was. And then when we look back at this, and then we look at, you know, the cuts, we look at this, we look at the dirt on her shoe, the dirt here that goes in line with these images, you know, it just makes you think, you know, in a broader mind. So yeah, pay attention to the outside of the kitchen if anyone's looking, and see what you can find, because I feel like she did. I feel like she did walk back from that freezer, regardless.